Hey, I'm doing a quick review of the Jackery 5000 Plus along with the Smart Transfer Switch, which I installed a few weeks ago. I bought the unit on a Black Friday deal for $3,500, so that's where I'm at. Not everything's going smooth, so if you have some ideas what I'm doing wrong, or if you're having the same problem, let me know in the comments. So without further ado, here we go. So I finally got my Jackery 5000 Smart Transfer Switch installed. I used one mounting screw for the stud and then another one for drywall. That's why you see two different screws there. Here's probably the most important thing that I realized, besides that spider up there, is I needed some Fat Daddy conduit, which is 1.5 inch. Come here, buddy. The other thing is, if you see how my conduits run, mine's a little funky. I get that. But this Jackery is supposed to be wall mounted. At least that's what the instructions say. And so I don't know, I suppose I could have came in a little bit further out, but I was coming down the ceiling, and anyways, that's how I ended up doing it. I don't know if any of this is the code, by the way. This is a view from inside the box. If you notice, I did use the 2-gauge wiring and did that for the rest of the breakers. So 2-gauge up there, 6-gauge up here, just like the instructions called for. Inside the Jackery, I ended up by using 5 of the breakers, and then I used double pole breakers pretty much on everything. So when I was shooting that last clip, I unplugged the panel, and as soon as you unplug that dead man panel, or dead face, I don't know what it's called, this came on the error, then the internet goes down. So that's something to keep in mind when that happens. Okay, for my main circuit panel, what I ended up by doing is just running it. I just put a 100 amp breaker here. So here I am up in the attic where I ran everything to this pull box, and then I ran my critical loads that I want the smart panel to power up. I ran those through the side, and everything ran inside this old connections, and everything ran through this 1.5 inch conduit. So for the cost on top of the $3,500 was, I had to buy some wiring, about 13 foot. It was about $2.50 a foot. Then I needed 3 of those. This is for the 2-gauge wire. It ended up by being $97.50 for that grounding wire. That's only a 6-gauge, and that ended up by being about $20.80. Next was that pull box that I bought. That was about $22.50. The actual 100 amp breaker, that cost me, I think it was $60. I had to end up by buying like 50 foot of the conduit. That cost me another $100. And then there was probably, I needed some connectors and some plugs and some of those wiring clamps. That was probably about $40. $340.80 was what I think I spent on that. So here I am with this is where I'm having the problem. And this shows you just the app. You put it in UPS mode, and this thing works good, right? If it's in UPS mode and the power goes down, it transfers fast. I have mine set to 90, this automatic charge mode. It says it charges to 100%, so if it got below 10%, then, if it got below, 10%, then it's supposed to charge back up. At least that's my understanding of it, right? But I can tell you for sure that is not what happens. So these are my settings that I have. These are the different options available. Quite frankly, and this is how you can control each um, the voltage configuration. You can do 220, 110. You can go in there and rename your circuits and whatnot. So once again, here's just the different things. This shows you even like the critical circuits. So I have some that, hey, you want those always supplied, and then if it gets below like 50% power, then the other ones will, they'll kick off. But as you can see, like I'm at 91%. This thing just doesn't charge. I don't know why it doesn't charge, but it does not charge. And I'm in the 5000 plus app right now. And you can see, like when you're in there, you can't change any of this stuff. So the smart transfer switch is controlling the Jackery 5000 plus, which to me seems normal. But my question is, why doesn't it charge back up? And I'll show you later on, like exactly what I'm talking about. So here I am back in the smart transfer switch panel. Just going through this thing. Once again, those are my settings. I'm at it doesn't matter what I do, carbon reduction, whatever the hell that is, doesn't do anything. And I'm here I'm showing you, like I did get some errors. I got an E1 error, which was weird. And then I've been getting this this E5 error. So I did write Jackery, but they gave me some weird answers, and it's back and forth about, well, what's the serial number? This serial number you gave us correct? Like it seems like they're being slow. So we have the Jackery, which is at the 5000 plus, which is at 91%. I'm connected to the grid, as you can see up here. On the Jackery, one grid, everything's going well. And then the Jackery is at 91%, just went down to 90. That went off of some settings I have going, that it won't go below 90, and then you get an error. There you go. That's what happened. So it used its 10%, went to nothing, and now you got an error. And here's where it stays. That thing will, so it's connected to the grid. You see the grid up there, connected to the grid, no battery, will not charge. Only way to get it to charge is to unconnect it and reconnect it. Watch. I gotta unconnect it. Gotta come down here. I have to power this thing off. I'll power it back on. And I'll come up here and I'll reconnect it. And then you'll see here in just a second, you'll see it starts charging again. It won't charge unless you do that. Which wouldn't be bad, but there's that phantom charge. It just drains it out. So let me tell you what my hope was for this thing. I hope that during an extended power outage, that my 5000 plus connected to the smart transfer switch, providing power to those critical loads, when it ran out of power, that I would be able to recharge it using the 110 or 120 outlet, like connected to my generator. So you can plug this thing into a 120 volt outlet and hopefully recharge it, right? No, that is not what happens. If you try to do this, it'll just throw an error. So so for an extended power outage, you need more batteries. I don't know if solar works or not. This doesn't. Okay, so perfect timing. I just noticed while I was recording this video
that the smart transfer switch was stopped working. It threw a fault. And here's what happened. I have my power setting. Once again, once it goes beneath 10%, it throws that fault. That's where I'm at. That's the alert. F5 or E5, F5. And that's what it does. It throws this F5 and stops working. I mean, it still supplies grid power, but it does not charge. I'm going to try to change some of the settings and change them back to see if anything changes, but it doesn't. So this thing draws a phantom voltage. If you don't have it on UPS mode, it's probably like 3% a day that it loses. And if you're on UPS mode, it's quite a bit more. It's probably maybe 20% a day. It's quite a bit that it uses just to sit there and monitor the grid voltage. Well, once again, when it works, it's very fast. If you got it on UPS mode, it switches over extremely quick. If you don't have it on UPS mode, it takes 3 or 4 seconds or so. It's not bad, but it'll make your internet drop. UPS mode, it switches over fantastic. But here, this is a perfect example. This will not, and I'm trying to change a couple things on the app to see if it does anything, and it doesn't. It just sit there. It'll keep the error. You can see that the alert up there, and you can see it doesn't charge. There you go. Get the alert. Nothing happens. This is the frustrating part I find out about this unit, and this is a deal breaker, right? You don't want to be going out there every every 5 days or so, plugging your thing in, plugging it back. So I think this is some kind of software issue. I've written Jackery about it, and once again, I don't see them as being like Johnny on the spot to get this fixed. I think they know I don't know if they know or not, but this is definitely an issue. I don't know if it's just mine or if this is an issue with everyone else. Once again, if you're not having this problem, man, let me know what your settings are. Write in the comments. Let me know what the settings are, so I can change mine and work it out. Because it seems like this would be a good unit, but with this kind of thing, it's not doing what I need it to do, and that's home backup. When it is meant for home backup with the smart transfer switch, this is literally not doing what I need it to do. So I am going to go back, reset it, and show you guys what it looks like after it gets reset. So hang on just a few minutes. Let me go do that, and I will either speed this up or I'll probably just cut it. So here you go. Just finished unplugging and plugging it back in, and you see that it immediately starts to charge. Yeah, and you see the charging cranks up, and it charges pretty quick using the 220 volts or 240 volts. If it did this automatically, this would probably be a winner. Until they can get this fixed, it's not a winner. And it took me all day to install this thing. And once again, I'm not an electrician, so of course it's going to take me longer. But it took a lot of time, and there's some extra money involved. So it's a loser. So thanks for watching. And once again, if you saw anything that I missed, please let me know. Have a great day, guys.